Hey, if school ratings are driving your move to DFW, then you're going to want to hear this. The top rated schools in DFW aren't just good, they're elite. But there's one trade-off that most homeowners miss, and it could cost you big if you're not prepared. Stick around because I'm going to break that down later in the video. In this video, we're diving into the top 5 school districts across Dallas-Fort Worth, according exclusively to data provided by niche.com. One of the things that we love about niche.com is they're actually going to dive into academics, teachers, sports, activities, and provide reviews from teachers and parents. So it's going to be really good objective data. Whether you're relocating from out of state or upgrading locally, this is the list that you should use as your starting point. I'm going to break down exactly what each district offers, where they are, and what it's really like to live there. Hey, I'm Brian White, your local Dallas-Fort Worth real estate expert and owner of the Blue Fuse Group at eXp Realty. Each week, we help people move smart, plant a new flag, and start living their legacy today. Whether you move in 2 weeks or in 2 years, we're here to help. So hit subscribe and drop a comment letting us know which school district you're eyeing. All right, so let's dive right in and start talking about the 5 school districts, the top 5 school districts across Dallas-Fort Worth. And the first thing that we want to talk about is our methodology. We're using the data from niche.com, and it's important that we have one consistent platform to measure all of the school districts. We don't want to have any bias, and niche.com does a great job of that. They're actually looking at objective metrics, and they've got a team of experts that's really looking at a variety of things. So I mentioned before, they're looking at the academics, they're looking at athletics, they're looking at college prep, diversity, and they're getting reviews from parents and students as well. So you've got really objective metrics. They've got a rating system that, just like your kids at school, they're rating all the way from A+ down to a failing grade, and they've got objective scores for each one of those ratings. So you can feel really good if you're comparing school to school and district to district across niche.com. You can feel really good about the relative results you're going to get compared to each of them. So with no further ado, let's dive right into the top 5 school districts across Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm actually going to start off by giving you a bonus. We're going to go in reverse order, so I'm actually going to give you number 6, and there's a variety of reasons for this. Argyle ISD is the number 6 school district across Dallas-Fort Worth, and we're starting with that, starting with the bonus, because it's near and dear to my heart. We've got a lot of friends whose kids go to Argyle ISD. It's also really close to our house, which is why we have a lot of friends. Argyle ISD it gets an A+ rating from niche.com. You can see each of the metrics that I broke down here. It gets an A+ for academics and for teachers. It's a great college prep school. It's really not a very big district, so it's been growing really fast over the last number of years. The Argyle area has been booming. It's kind of in a transition stage from being very much a rural, large acreage type area, and that still exists, and it's definitely an opportunity to get luxury homes on land in Argyle. But we're also seeing master plan communities pop up, and with those communities comes growth, and growth becomes schools growth. It also drives population growth. So there are just over 5,000 students across Argyle ISD, and so it's not only the number 6 district across Dallas-Fort Worth. You can see that it's the number 8 district across all of Texas. So that just tells you how strong the ratings and how strong the competition across Dallas-Fort Worth is for the best schools. When the number 6 school in DFW is the number 8 school across Texas, that's a really big deal. It's also the number 9 school in all of Texas for athletes. So if your kiddos are in sports, then Argyle ISD is going to be a great spot for them. So it's number 16 for teachers in Texas, and you find that where the teachers are great and have great support, then the students do well as well. So where is Argyle ISD? It's located in the northwest corner of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So it's going to be just south of Denton, a little bit north of Grapevine Lake, and just east of 35W. There's a little bit that sprinkles over to the other side of 35W, actually in the town of Northlake, but it's in the northwest corner of Dallas-Fort Worth. While we're at it, let's just talk about what does it cost to live in Argyle, and home prices vary widely in Argyle School District. If I'm looking at the sales across the last year. The cheapest was actually $78,000. I don't even know how we got land in the Argyle area for $78,000, but that's the cheapest. And then homes range all the way up to the high end. And then the sales on the high end range just south of $5 million. So everything from really inexpensive to all the way up to fairly expensive in the luxury space. Let's look at what's on the market right now. And similar to sales this last year, you can get a home in Argyle ISD for just over $100,000. Ranging all the way up to the most expensive listing right now is on more than 25 acres and is just south of $10 million. So that just gives you an idea of the wide range of homes available in Argyle ISD. All right, so the number 5 school district in Dallas-Fort Worth is gonna be Lovejoy Independent School District. Lovejoy comes in strong with an A+ rating from niche.com. It got an A+ in academics, an A+ for teachers, and an A+ in college prep. One of the key things to call out here is it did get a C+ for diversity. So where is Lovejoy School District? Lovejoy is in Allen. It's on the far eastern side of Allen, approaching the Lucas area, which is a mix and is still, like Argyle, is a largely rural, and it's a spot with a lot of acreage and homes on 1 acre. So you're getting large lots and more luxury style homes in Lovejoy ISD. So Lovejoy was rated the number 7 school district across all of Texas. Again, when I talk about how competitive schools are in Dallas-Fort Worth, the number 5 district in DFW is the number 7 district across Texas. That's a really big deal. Just recently, Lovejoy ISD from the Texas Education Association got an A rating across the entire district and across all of their campuses. So really highly rated across the board. Lovejoy was number 19 for teachers across Texas and number 116 for best places to teach in Texas. So it's in the top 20% of best places to teach and some of the best teachers across the state. Lovejoy is known for a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio. That means there are 16 students to a teacher, which gives a lot of focused attention to your students. Let's look at living in the area in Lucas. Overall, niche.com gives the area an A, with A+ good for families, a B- on cost of living, and a B- for housing. The median home value in the area is going to be $861K. So that's going to be on the higher end of the overall DFW market. If the median across Dallas-Fort Worth is in the 470s, below 500K range, then the median in Lucas is going to be twice that. So it's a relatively expensive option when we think about areas across Dallas-Fort Worth. So the number 4 ranked school district across Dallas-Fort Worth is Allen Independent School District. And this is a district we talk about quite a bit for a variety of reasons. Allen got an A+ rating from niche.com and gets solid ratings across the board. So it's got an A for academics, an A+ for teachers, an A+ for clubs and activities, an A for diversity, A+ for college prep, and an A for administration. So that's a lot of A's. Those are solid ratings across the board. So Allen's gonna be one of the largest school districts that we'll talk about. It's got over 21,000 students in the district. One of the things that makes Allen unique is all of the schools, all of the students eventually funnel through one high school. And why that's such a big deal is many areas, certainly many areas across DFW, have multiple high schools and a very local community sort of feel. Well, since all 21,000 students eventually funnel through one program, that means they've got highly competitive programs in just about every sport, in band, in academics, in a lot of different things. So it's very much a university type atmosphere and highly competitive across many, many programs. And you're seeing that show up in terms of the rankings across Dallas-Fort Worth. So it's the number 6 district across Texas. So number 4 in Dallas-Fort Worth and number 6 across Texas. One of the best places to teach at number 13 in the state, and number 14 best places for teachers. So it's a great place to teach and best for teachers. So like Lucas, they have a 16 student to teacher ratio, which is super solid. So what's it like to live in Allen? Allen gets an A+ overall niche grade. Again, it's an A+ for being good for families. It gets a B for cost of living and a B+ for housing. The median home value in Allen is going to be $429,000, so significantly more affordable. And a lot of reasons for that is Allen is mostly made up of neighborhoods and master plan communities. So you're not getting nearly the land and the space that you are in Lucas. So the median home value in Allen is just under $430,000. And a big reason for that is Allen's made up of primarily neighborhoods and master plan communities. So you're not getting nearly the large lot luxury, kind of the rural feel that you are just east of Allen and Lucas, where we talk about Lovejoy ISD. But Allen is much more established and is much more of a master plan community feel, and makes it significantly more affordable. So the number 3 school district across Dallas-Fort Worth is Coppell Independent School District. And it also got an A+ rating from Niche. That's A+ for academics, A for teachers, A- for clubs and activities, an A for sports, B+ for diversity, A+ for college prep, and A for the administration. So Coppell ISD is a large school district in a well-established area. So Coppell is just northeast of Dallas-Fort Worth. So it's the most in the city of all of the districts that we talk about. Coppell is just north of Irving and super close to Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's a fairly large district with more than 13,000 students. But one of the things and one of the reasons it gets that rating is they have a 15-to-1 student to teacher ratio. Coppell is the number 5 district in all of Texas. Again, the academics across Dallas-Fort Worth are just fantastic and some of the best across all of Texas. It's one of the best places to teach, and it's the number 55 district for athletics across all of Texas. So Coppell is competitive from an academics and an athletics perspective. So what's it like to live in Coppell? Well, niche.com gives it an A+ overall rating, A+ for being good for families, B- for cost of living, and a B+ for housing. So what does that mean and what goes into those ratings? Well, the median home value in Coppell is $525K, and Coppell is an interesting mix because it was an area that was booming in the 80s and 90s, and then kind of slowed down on the growth. So there's a lot of mature homes and mature trees. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area, and there's kind of a pause, and then we've seen a resurgence over the last 10 years of new construction and new construction options. So there's a wide variety of housing in Coppell. The location is really close to a lot of things, a lot of employers. It's relatively easy to get to downtown Dallas, over to Fort Worth, up to Frisco, and to most areas across DFW. Those are all things that go into why Coppell is the number 3 district across Dallas-Fort Worth. All right, so I'm super excited to share the number 2 independent school district across Dallas-Fort Worth. This is my alma mater. It's where I grew up, and that's Grapevine-Colleyville Independent School District. So overall, GC ISD gets an A+ rating from niche.com. It gets an A+ for academics, an A+ for teachers, an A- for clubs and activities, an A for sports. It gets an A- for diversity, A+ for college prep. I mean, it got largely great grades across a variety of spectrums. So they do have a 16-to-1 student to teacher ratio, so good coverage from a teacher perspective. One of the other things about GCISD that makes it special and makes it stand out is that they do offer AP courses. They offer gifted and talented programs, as well as international baccalaureate programs. So all of those types of things are next level classes and next level opportunities for students. So Grapevine-Colleyville Independent School District, it was number 4 across all of Texas. I mean, number 4 in Texas is a really big deal, folks. Number 2 in Dallas-Fort Worth, number 4 across Texas. It's number 11 in terms of the best places to teach, and number 11 for teachers as well. So it's great for students, it's great for teachers, and a great place for teachers to work. So it is similar in size to Coppell Independent School District with more than 13,000 students, a little bit bigger than just a few students bigger than Coppell ISD. Similar to the last couple of areas, Grapevine gets an A+ overall niche grade for living and being one of the best places to live in Texas. It is an A+ for being good for families, a B- for cost of living, and a B for housing. The median home value in Grapevine, so this is going to be different if we consider Grapevine and Colleyville Independent School District, but the Grapevine side of GCISD, the median home value is $470K. The reason I say it's going to vary is as we move farther west and farther south, you move move towards the South Lake area and move into Colleyville, then homes move more towards the luxury space. You're gonna see larger lots, you're gonna see luxury finish outs, and see home prices drive up significantly from that 470 median into the 7-figure range. That's gonna drive up home costs. So where is Grapevine-Colleyville Independent School District? So GCISD is located just east of South Lake. It's right off of 114. The DFW airport is actually located within Grapevine. And the reason for that is Grapevine is terrifically situated between Dallas and Fort Worth. It's on the north side, but it's right off of 114, which is an east-west corridor that helps you get just about anywhere that you want to go in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's within 20 to 30 minutes of Dallas and within 30 minutes of Fort Worth on major highways. It's really in a great location. All right, so we've talked about a number of the best school districts across DFW. So we started with Argyle ISD being number 6. That was our bonus district. And then we talked about Lovejoy ISD at number 5, Allen at number 4, Coppell at number 3, and Grapevine-Colleyville ISD at number 2 across Dallas-Fort Worth. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a break and talk about a controversy, one that you might be looking for and might be wondering why I haven't talked about yet. And that's going to be Highland Park Independent School District. Highland Park is widely considered one of the best academic districts across Texas. But according to niche.com, it has a couple of significant drawbacks. It did get an A+ overall. It got an A+ for academics and for college prep. It also got an A+ for sports, which comes as no surprise to anyone that follows high school sports in Texas. But it did get a C- for diversity and then a C+ for resources and facilities. So those were a couple of the areas that caused it to fall out of that top 5 ranking. It's still rated as the number 10 district across Dallas-Fort Worth. It just didn't make the top 5 list. It falls as it's the number 13 district for athletes across Texas, and it was the number 19 district across all of Texas. So if you're wondering why it's not in the top 5, that's your answer. Okay, so before we get into the number 1 school district across Dallas-Fort Worth, I want to spend a few minutes talking about the trade-offs. We spent a lot of time talking about the bonuses and what makes these districts in these areas great places to live, but what are some of the trade-offs? And the trade-offs are often higher home values. Because these school districts are higher performers, these are often very competitive areas. These are places that people moving from all over the country. If you're watching this video, you might be from California or from New York or from Florida or from a variety of places, and not just in Dallas-Fort Worth, but across the country. So these school districts are highly sought after and can be very competitive markets. Well, more people wanting to move in can drive up home prices and make the cost of living higher in those areas. One of the other things that you need to be aware of is that there can be enrollment restrictions in some of these areas. So one of the things you're going to want to make sure that you pay close attention to is you want to make sure that you're actually in these school districts and not in something called open enrollment. Some districts have areas that are slightly outside of the district, and that creates an opportunity to attend another school or to attend a school in the district. And that's great and can be a great opportunity. There is no promise, though, in the future that open enrollment will continue. It may be that areas become too busy or overcrowded and they decide to remove open enrollment as an opportunity. So just as you're working through these areas and trying to determine which schools that you want your kids to go to, know that Texas in general is a closed enrollment. You need to be mapped to a specific school to be able to attend school there. Open enrollment may or may not play a role in that, and we can help you figure that out. So if you've got questions about that when we're looking for homes, then let's make sure we talk about it. So one of the last things that you want to think about and trade-offs when looking for a home in some of these top school districts is going to be property taxes. The ISD, the school taxes, are the biggest portion of your overall property taxes. And property taxes are a significant driver of home affordability in Texas. So just make sure when we're looking at the overall total cost of ownership of the homes that you're looking at, that you're factoring in property taxes and those school district taxes into the overall equation. All right, so the number 1 school district in Dallas-Fort Worth and the number 3 school district across all of Texas is Carroll ISD, home of the Carroll Dragons, often called South Lake Carroll ISD. Carroll is a premier school district across Dallas-Fort Worth. It gets an A+ rating from niche.com. It gets an A+ for academics, an A+ for teachers, it gets an A+ for sports, and an A+ for college prep. The only things that it doesn't get an A for in some capacity are it gets a B for diversity and then a B- for resources and facilities. So what are the things that make Carroll ISD such a phenomenal place and a fantastic school district? Well, there are a number of things. Number one is culture. I mean, Southlake is all about the Carroll Dragons. Friday night lights are a very real thing. Southlake has very much a community feel and a community support aspect to the Carroll Dragons. It's a really big deal, and the community is centered around it. You see a lot of businesses sponsoring the schools, and you see jerseys and art and school paraphernalia hanging in many of the local Southlake businesses. Carroll, it's a medium-sized district. It's definitely not one of the larger districts with just over 8,200 students in Carroll ISD. It's in a great location. Southlake is just west of Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's just east of a new and upcoming luxury area called Westlake. That's been home of Fidelity and Charles Schwab. It's kind of the new financial district for Dallas-Fort Worth. But that location, it's super close to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. It's got great highways, so it's easy to get to Dallas, to Frisco, or over to Fort Worth. So almost no matter where you work in Dallas-Fort Worth, Carroll ends up being in a great location. So I mentioned earlier that Carroll is the number 3 district across Texas. It's the number 2 school district in Texas for athletes. So it's a great location for athletics and for your student if competitive athletics is going to be important. It's the number 28 district in all of Texas. Again, there are nearly 900 districts in Texas. That's number 28 in terms of the best place for teachers. So it's got solid academics being an overall best district. It's got solid athletics. Let's talk a little bit about student-teacher ratio. It's a little bit higher than some of the others at 17 students to 1. That's super close. Everything we've been talking about is in that 15 to 17 range. Now, the living in Southlake. So what's that like according to niche.com? It gets an A+ overall rating, as you might imagine. It gets an A+ as being good for families. It gets an A- for housing and a B+ for cost of living. So why is that? Well, much like I mentioned with Lucas over in Lovejoy ISD, Southlake's expensive. According to niche.com, the median home value in Southlake is $957,000. I think those numbers are going up dramatically, and you'll see those numbers be dramatically higher than that in the future. Again, because it's got a great location, it's getting more and more built out, so it's very much a luxury lifestyle and luxury community. There's what's being built are luxury homes. The new homes that are being built are $1.5 to $2 million to $3 million. So it ends up being a relatively expensive place to live, as you can see from that median home value being 2x what we're seeing across Dallas-Fort Worth. That's your list of the top 5 school districts across Dallas-Fort Worth. So let me give you a few final thoughts before we wrap up. First is the best school district for you and your students is really going to depend on what's most important to you. There are different academic programs that might be important to you. There are different athletic programs that might be most important to you. As you're looking at programs, you're going to want to make sure not only that a school might be good at athletics, but that it's good in your particular sport. Or if academics are most important, and I mentioned some places have AP courses and International Baccalaureate, you're going to want to make sure that the things that are most important to you are items that are available in those schools. So we use niche.com as our guide, and we recommend that you check that out because you can dive deeper into what I shared today. But it's a great overall resource. It's built on actual data and an actual result. So the last thing is, hey, reach out. If you want help matching your home search to your school area, if you want help figuring out which is going to be the best community for you, then that's what we do each and every day. So if you're thinking about moving here, let's talk. The link is in the description. Do you want to compare more DFW suburbs? We've got a playlist for that. We'd also love it if you drop your questions in the comments below, because I'll answer those directly. Hey, thanks again for hanging out with me today. If moving to DFW or moving in DFW is in your plans, that's literally what my family and I do each and every day. And as always, I want to leave you knowing that God is good. Jesus has forgiven you. You are loved, and everything is possible. Blessings, and I'll talk to you again next week.